Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Whatever, everybody. It's Boss Talk Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm
Wednesday.
going live with the one and only Natalie Lee Martin. So she's hopping on Instagram. So we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. We're definitely very excited. We're always excited to bring week. This might be week. I don't know, maybe like 23. It's been a
Oh my
minute. So guys, like
April.
to get the feed. I'm excited to talk to you another week with my homegirl Natalie. She's logging into Instagram. Guys, like and share this feed. We're talking about something really dope today. Well, I think every week is dope. I guess it's my bias opinion about what we do with Boss Talk. So I'm excited to have you guys joining in, guys. Like and share this feed. I think I got you in. You good? She's coming in now, guys. So like and share this feed, guys. This is another episode, another week of Boss Talk Wednesday. We're coming live on Instagram, we're live on YouTube, and we're live on Facebook. All right. So guys, like and share this feed. We got a good conversation today. What up, fam?
Hey,
You heard?
honey.
I'm so excited because today is a brand new day. Today is a day that you have not seen before. Today is a great day to
Man,
live on purpose. Today is a
yes,
great day to be happy. I know it's raining in Jersey, so it's a little cloudy, but that does not have to determine the outlook of your life. All right. So today is start. Listen, if we're gonna start right, we're gonna start right, right?
you gonna
All
start
right, guys.
right. You said does not determine the outlook of your life. Let's
Listen,
go.
listen, because some people's life is so chaotic because they let
Hmm.
the outside determine the inside when the inside determines the outside. What you say and speak on the inside of you, whatever's inside of you, the Bible talks about whatever is inside is going to come out. So whatever you meditate on, they said you can tell someone by what they spend their money on, what they spend their time
Hmm.
on. If we
Hmm.
go through your phone and it has that new feature where it tells you like what you concentrate on the most, what would it say? So what are you concentrating on as a creative, as an entrepreneur, as whatever you got going on? All right. So Natalie, what's up with you this we got on a little earlier today. So what's going on with you today, fam?
Nothing much. This week has been a chillaxed week. Pull back a little bit. So the first week of every month, I don't see clients. I purposely orchestrate my business like that so I can just really focus on the business, building the structure. So this week was just calm as far as just me being in the business building. So I'm excited. I was doing my hair today, so it feels heavy. If y'all see my hair looking a little big, it's because
You look good, fam. You look good.
thank you.
It's a kitchen boutique for me. It's a kitchen boutique.
Yeah, listen, entrepreneur, you gotta be savvy with their money. You know what I'm saying?
That is so true. And I just think today is just an amazing day. I just am so happy and excited because I'm alive today. I think it's
That
so
right there.
easy. Yes, it's so easy to get used to not even noticing the small things. So on today I just choose to recognize every small thing that's in my life because the small things are the greatest because some people didn't wake up this morning. Some people weren't in their right mind today. It's like testimony service, like all that stuff
Come
that
on.
you say that is so true. Like some people don't have opportunities that we do every day. So I'm always thankful every single day that I get an opportunity to just share life, to live life,
Yeah.
to if I whatever I didn't do right yesterday, I can do it right today. I think
Yes.
it's so easy to beat yourself up with stuff that's not going right. And it's like, fam, let me do a gratitude check. Let me check
Ooh,
because sometimes the reason why you're not going to the next level is you have not taken time to be thankful that you woke up this morning. Sometimes it don't work out because you're not taking time to be grateful that hey, I got a place to stay. I ain't
mhm,
had to worry about, I have a car, I have gas to put in my car because I remember a time when I didn't have gas. You know what I'm saying? Like once you start
mhm,
being have the attitude of gratitude, things just start to work out for you.
mhm.
No matter what your situation is, no matter what you're going through, if you start maintaining the attitude of gratitude, things that did not work will start working
That's
because
so
of the
good.
attitude of gratitude. That whole mindset shift of just gratitude just changes the whole trajectory. I get the opportunity to be a chef. I get the opportunity to run a business, so that's where I'm at right now. That's my mindset for the rest of the week, the rest of the month, the rest of my life. That's what it is, gratitude.
I love that. I really do. Hey, Bev, what's up, girl? I am so. I love that you focusing on the gratitude part of it, because even yesterday I sat down with one of my accountability partners for business, and she was just like, we need to enjoy the season that we're in because it's not going to last always. And that really hit me. Like, I have been, you know, when you are an entrepreneur, when you're a business owner, and you are so looking forward to the future because you have this great big vision, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to have all the clients, I can't wait to have the
Hmm.
employees, to have the success and the money and all of that other stuff. But you don't realize with all of that stuff comes more pull on your time. You don't have as much time freedom as you do in the beginning. It takes a lot of discipline and being, you know, put some boundaries around a lot of the things. And you don't realize that although you come into entrepreneurship to have your freedom and to own your time, you literally are not going to have all the time in the world that you think you're going to have. Your time as you grow is going to be allotted to different things. And so it was just like, enjoy the slowdown period, enjoy the time where you
Yeah,
can literally just read a book, because there's going to become a time where you may not be able to read for a long while, or you not be able to kick up your feet for certain seasons, depending on where you at in your journey, and to enjoy where you're at in the moment. I personally look forward to the future so much that I forget that it's in the moment. You know what I mean? To be grateful
that's
for
it.
this time right now. And I love that you keep bringing it back to the attitude of gratitude, because if you have the attitude of gratitude now, when you do get the responsibility that comes with success, you're bringing that attitude and your mindset with you. So when it gets difficult and challenging at
Yeah,
some point, you're not like, oh, why do I have all these clients? Or, oh, why do I have all this business? Like, the thing that you be praying for sometimes is the thing that you be mad at when you get the thing that you pray for. So I love
that
having that
part.
attitude and mindset. Yeah.
And I think it goes back to going back to the basics. So oftentimes we're looking for the next big thing, the next big wow, what is this?
Yeah.
When will my moment be? But honestly, like for example, is I just feel like the enemy never uses new tricks to get you down, right?
Come
It's
on.
always
Nope.
the same thing. So why do we try to always reinvent the wheel when sometimes if you do the same thing over and over again, it'll
Hmm.
bring such a level of growth where it's like I always have to realize that too. Like when the stagnation in my life, I look at, okay, Josh, what are you doing differently? What faith confessions are you not speaking anymore? What practices of manifestation are you not allowing to happen anymore? Because once you start getting to the groove of things, like for example, is even if like you're an athlete, you still do the same training, even though you may play in a different place. The same
Hmm.
training will apply to a different place, but sometimes you
Hmm.
have to create more intensive training. So you don't have to recreate the wheel. Just be consistent at doing the same thing. And
Yeah.
sometimes too, like for example, is like what we're talking about today is going beyond your limitation as a creative and entrepreneur. Sometimes like even when you start working out, like they give you the same workouts, but they add more to it. Where you may be only be able
Hmm.
to do 5 reps today, but then the goal for next week is to do 10 reps. So when it
Yes.
comes to what you're working on, you have to increase the boundaries of your limitation. Now, it's not
Mm.
saying try so hard that now sometimes I will say that we do too much. I do too much.
Good.
So I have to scale back.
Yeah.
And I said, no, okay, Jay, maybe right now you wasn't able at the 10 rep, but do 8. Do 8 because maybe you're in between the 5 and the 10. You're just not at
Mm.
10 yet, but just be consistent because guess what? That muscle will start to build up, but I have to be
Come
consistent.
on.
I have to choose every day to be consistent at doing the same thing that got me there the first time. Just intensify my actions, intensify my intention, because sometimes it may not be just your actions that are wrong. The intention behind it is
Yes. Come
not
on.
the worthy intention. So, like what we talked about last week about going back to work, it's not that the intention is wrong, but maybe I have to shift it to realize, okay, maybe I have to do this part to get to this part. And
Hmm.
during the process of it, let me be willing to receive what I can receive at this level as I'm still going beyond my limitations.
Yeah, I love that you talk about increasing the intensity and how that, you know, your intentions do matter. And I
Oh yeah.
remember for me, like in the beginning when God called me to entrepreneurship, and my intention was to make money, and it was just like, if that's your intention, you can go back to corporate for that. Like, you can make money anywhere, anyhow. What is the
Mm,
real motivation? And I had to dig deep to really find out, why am I doing this thing? I know God called me to this specific area, but he called me for a purpose and a reason. And it couldn't be, I know a lot of people like to say because God said, but that's the language of where he's taken us. God said is not enough for them. So now I had to go back and dig deeper as, why am I really doing this? What is it that he's calling me to? Why did he say this
mm,
thing? And when I looked at
mm.
it, when I dug deep and when I really sat down with myself and the help of coaches, if you want to sit down with yourself a little bit faster, get a coach. I'm just telling you, you want to do it
That part.
slow and take your time, because you have all the time in the world. Take your time, do it by yourself. But if you want to accelerate the process, get a coach. And I sat with my coach and she kept asking me question after question. And it was just like, because I want to create a legacy of generational wealth. I do not
Yeah,
want my children to have to suffer the way that I did. They can suffer their own thing, but not the way that I did. I'm breaking this poverty mindset off of myself and off of my family so that they can go into the next generation not having a limitation that the last generation had, because we look like this. Let's keep it
mm,
100. Black people, we've had to endure a lot. African Americans had to endure a
yeah,
lot, and it has to do with your mentality. Now that we've been freed, so to speak, now your mindset has to be freed from the point of looking at this and seeing something that's less than,
yeah,
looking at your own self and your own culture and your lips and your eyes and saying, oh, because my lips are bigger than so and so's lips, then
yeah.
I can't afford the same. It has to be a whole shift in your mindset, the
And it's
same
like, who
shift
told
that,
you that? Who
but they
told you
told
that?
us. They told
Yeah,
us. Your parents told you that. And
yeah.
they might have said you ugly, but they would say certain things like, put on some makeup. Your face looking a little oily or a little dark right now. Put on some blush. I remember somebody
Mhm,
saying that to me, like, "Oh, she dark. You need to be outside of the sun." And that
mm,
simple things like that make you think, "Oh, I can't be afforded this opportunity." So now when you go into entrepreneurship, even those thoughts, even those little words that somebody said to you, oh, she too black, oh, she too short, oh, her hair too nappy, it shows up in your business. It
yeah,
shows up when you come asking for somebody, oh, would you buy my product? And they say no. You're like, maybe because I'm too black, maybe because my hair too nappy,
mhm,
they don't want to buy my product, maybe it's because of my lips, they
yeah.
don't want to purchase a service. And you have to unpack and undo all of that stuff to get to the real deal. So
That's
knowing
good.
why is so important. Knowing the reason why you're called to this thing on a whole nother level, it keeps you motivated to the point when you do have to go back into corporate. You're like, this is just for a season. This is just for I need to learn this aspect. I need to get more
Mhm,
training in this area. You know,
mhm,
that's not the end result, because you know where the end result is. You know what the
mm,
vision is. This is just a bypass to get to the vision that you see
mm,
when you know what I mean? The stuff you
yeah.
created.
And I do realize, even going back to the whole job situation we were just talking about, sometimes it's not that the job is meant to leave. Sometimes it's meant to. Not every place is that much of a burden, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes the products that
Agreed.
and services that we ordered are that are offer too much. Where what I mean by that is sometimes we're burning ourselves out trying to make a product work when it's not that the product is wrong, just your delayed way of delivering it is too taxing on your
That is so
body.
true.
Like,
Yeah.
for example, is being a chef for 22 years, like, even though I'm 32, I'm like, fam, I love the kitchen, but I still like to chill out more. So I realized I had to really
Mhm.
revisit how I share my gift, because sometimes we get so caught up with just
That's
this
good.
is the only way I
That's
can do
good.
this, the only way I can do this, and it's like, no, the other way could be this, because what happened is too is when you have additional streams of income, you're able to invest in things that are not taxing on your body. I think so oftentimes, especially in our communities, because we are so creative, we look at hands-on things as our businesses, when sometimes you could just use your brain and set a system one time,
That's
make it a
right,
business.
right
Like,
there.
that's why things like Toro and Airbnb are so dope, because literally a lot of the work that you would normally do, you don't have to really do anymore. So it's really about, as an entrepreneur, finding ways to be creative, to really go past your limitation of what you think. Like, for example, is I love all glass elevators, right? Because when you're in an all glass elevator, it's just like, it seems like nothing is stopping you from going up. So when you see the whole all glass, elevators, I've been in certain ones that it's just so cool, because, like, wow, like, I can see everything, right? I'm going
Mm-hmm.
through ceilings, I'm going through levels, and it's just like there's nothing really stopping me. And a lot of times too is we have so many limitations that we put on ourselves that it's
That's
just
true.
like before you even try to start, you already like, well, I already know I can't do this because of this.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
man, I would do this, but I know that one teacher from second grade said I'll never be
Come
nothing.
on.
Or we look at these moments, and I think too is um stop being some people are just dream killers. And it's just like just because you feel that way about yourself, please don't share that to me. If it's not nice, keep it to yourself. Because honestly, sometimes we don't realize that your words, and this is why I realized as a teacher that my words literally have the power to shape in a good way or the bad way a lot of my mentees' minds. I can say
Yeah.
something that will discourage them or something that encourages them. So one thing I learned from network marketing is about edifying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Edifying is such an amazing tool to stretch people beyond their limitations. Because like let's say for example is I want someone to do Natalie's coaching program for clarity, right? I'm gonna say, oh yeah, it's this program I think you should take. No, I'm gonna be like, listen. One of my friends, Natalie. Oh my gosh, she is an amazing coach. She's gonna help stretch you, take you to the next level. She is a powerhouse. She is one of the baddest speakers in the land. She is gonna really help take you to the next level, and I promise you, you won't be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Someone would want to be a part of that versus, oh, take this
Yeah,
coaching
the
program. I think it's
way.
cool.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's just like when you think about your friend circle, do you take time to edify them? How do you edify yourself on a daily
Mm-hmm.
basis? Because even too is like one thing I used to do. This is funny when I didn't have an assistant. I would sign my name as my middle name in emails, and I would just say
It's
J
so good.
Marquise. But the thing about it is the way I spoke about myself in the email as somebody else, the client respected me more because one, they didn't always have access to me, but it was
Yeah.
edifying of myself because people look at you differently when they feel like you value yourself and people around them value yourself. So when it comes to really going beyond your limitations, how do you see yourself? How do you like, for example, that sometimes as a coach, I can see the best in someone, but if they don't see it themselves,
Wow.
they're never going to go beyond that limitation. So a lot of time, if you start really working on self-development, which is so important, as the more you work on yourself, the more you start to see who you really are. God made us amazing, super dope beings, but because we're so caught on not valuing ourselves when it comes to the marketplace, we undervalue ourselves. So as you start developing
Mm,
your self-esteem, you're able to grow as an
so
entrepreneur
good.
so far. But it takes you first, like saying, sometimes being honest, sitting down, and say, "Hey, God, I'm struggling with X, Y, and Z, but I really want to see myself the way you see me." Because most times when you're gifted, you don't see the value of your gift always. Other people see it. It's like people who are singers. Like my friend,
Yeah.
she didn't like she can sing her tail off, but she didn't know that she was that gifted. So sometimes when we talk about stuff, it's just like, she said, man, like, I really am dope when I write my resume down. You got to keep edifying yourself and building yourself up because when it's time to go to the next level, you will undervalue yourself because you don't know your worth.
Oh my gosh, Chef Jay, it's like you were in my conversation this morning. I was having a conversation with Sonia and another friend of mine, and I feel like you were literally in the conversation because you're talking about everything that we talked about this morning. And Phoenix Dancer, oh my gosh, she just said, this is why I still to this day thank God for Natalie because you poured into me tremendously in such a short time when everyone just saw my flaws. Thank you. And you know
So,
what? Thank you for saying that. I appreciate you because that's the one thing as a visionary, it's hard for me to not see the potential of a person, of a client. And when people don't see themselves appropriately, it bothers
mm,
me a lot. And I used to take that on
mm,
as a personal thing, and now I don't anymore. I remember having a friend, and I had got this whole community together. We were going to do visionaries, and we're connecting all over the world. My other friend,
mm,
it was her thing. And I remember her telling me, you need to stop talking to me about building this daycare. This is a vision that she had. Because she was like,
mm.
I can't do it. I don't want to do it no more. I just want to let it die. And after I told you, I feel like you keep bringing it up over and over. And that hurt me so much. Like if it was my vision, like my baby, and I couldn't understand why. And it's just like, that's just the way God made me. And it's okay. But I can't be around people that refuse to see themselves as more than where they are right now. I can't be around people who refuse to see the best in themselves, that
Mm-hmm.
consistently put themselves down and say, I can't, I won't, I will never. Even if you don't say it and you act that way, I have to now remove myself. And I didn't understand because I end up resenting the people that I'm around because I'm like, I wish you could see you like I see you, like God sees you,
Yeah.
like you're such a powerhouse. But it brings me back to, like you said, how you see yourself and how you devalue yourself, but it's the conversations. It's the
Mm-hmm.
conversations that cause you to see with clarity or to see with confusion. The conversations that you have with God, the
Mm-hmm.
conversations that you have with yourself, and the conversations that you have with other people. If you're constantly putting yourself down when you're in the presence of God, when you're constantly putting yourself down, when you're in the presence by yourself, when you're constantly putting yourself down, when you're in the presence of other people, then you will bring no value to the marketplace.
Yeah.
When you're an entrepreneur, you won't even see value in yourself because, or you wouldn't
That's
even
good.
think other people will see value in you because you don't see it in yourself. You have to be able to love yourself first. You have to be able to say, what God says about me, this is true. I don't care if I can't
Mm-hmm.
see it right now. I don't care if nobody else sees it because He said it. And there's a lot of scriptures where He says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that you are the apple
Yeah.
of His eye, that you are made in His image and His likeness. If you can't see that for yourself, there's no way you're going to enter into a space where people constantly say, no, 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 you not good, you not good, you not good. And then be like, yeah, I can do this. No, because the voices around you are just going
Mm-hmm.
to repeat what you've been saying to yourself. And to you, that's going to be a confirmation that you're not good enough. But when you
Yeah.
elevate your conversations, when you say, you know what? I can't be around people who constantly degrade themselves. I can't be around people who constantly don't see the best in me, even though I am flawed. We're all flawed. That's just the fact. I can't talk to myself a certain way. I can't filter the Bible through my own thoughts anymore. When you begin to say, I can't do that, and see yourself on a pedestal, if y'all want to do that, because I know people are going to be like, oh, pride, pride. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of us don't deal with pride. A lot of us deal with a low self-esteem. We don't
Yeah.
see ourselves accurately. We don't see ourselves as the gift. We don't see
Mm-hmm.
it. We see ourselves as, oh, okay, I'm not really that good and I don't want to. And you think that's cute. It's not. It is not. God wants you to see yourself as you are. And when you begin to see yourself appropriately, when you step into the place where there's a problem and you know you got the solution, like we know Chef Jay is a purpose coach. If you are struggling with your purpose,
Yeah.
why are you still on here every week and you haven't hollered at Chef Jay? Like he's the coach for this. He's going to accelerate your process in finding out what your purpose is, and then you can hop on and get clarity. Don't come with
Mm.
no purpose because that's what he does. But he knew that. He dug deep and he figured out, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. And he does not, let me tell you something about Chef Jay. He does not entertain conversations with people that are degrading him or themselves. Like he don't do it. I don't got time for that.
Listen.
You keep talking,
Listen.
we out. We out. You
No,
can't do it, we out.
and you know what it is too? It's a few different things why I'm like that. I don't got all comfortable. I done started moving all close to the on
I
the
know,
table.
right? Like we can't
Um
all.
because this is our conversation piece, and it's a few things. A few years ago, Creflo Dollar, my pastor, who I love dearly, he had preached a sermon and he had said something that was so pivotal in my life. He said, stop praying when you don't even believe God loves you. Because what happened is
Ooh.
when you're praying and you don't even know the love of God, like it's like a parent. If you don't believe your parent loves you, that can really mess up whatever they say to you, right? So when you meditate on love, and he said, stop praying that, and then just start praying and meditating on the love of God for your life. Once you do that part, then start really going into your prayer walk again.
Mm,
He was saying, because you don't, why pray to somebody when you don't believe that they love them, right?
come
Love
on.
you. So when I had to take some time to really start meditating on God's love for me, and every single day I would say nothing else mattered because God loves me, right? And that was what he told us. He said for the next 21 days, just keep saying it, keep confessing that, keep
Good.
doing it. That's your assignment. And once I started to really meditate on the love of God for my life, and I realized I'm like, yo, even though I make my mistakes, even though I don't always reach the mark, nothing else matters but God's love for me, right? So when I start meditating that love, I start building a confidence in myself because, like, wait, hold on one second. If my God loves me so much, I don't have to deal with this right here. I'm
Mm-mm.
loved by the ultimate,
Come on.
lover of my soul. So why would I, let this be what I deserve? So once I reached that part, the next part I realized, Pastor Taffy's wife came back was saying, you're not a garbage can. So stop. You're not a garbage can. And also
Ooh.
she was saying, stop letting people rent space in your mind. And these people don't pay rent. So it's just like once you start meditate on that you're loved, you stop entertaining certain conversations because you realize that
Mm-hmm.
if I
That's
know
good.
I'm loved and I know that I deserve X, Y, and Z, I don't entertain every conversation anymore
That's good.
because this conversation is not making me grow. Yesterday, I had a conversation with somebody and I realized, what they were talking about. It was a bad conversation. I just didn't want to talk about it because I'm like, how are we both
Mm-hmm.
growing? And personally,
Mm-hmm.
as a coach, I'm like, man, you got so much other stuff to worry about. I wouldn't even be talking about this conversation, and I'm so fixed on self-growth and self-development. And I get that for some people, that's not it. They feel like, oh, well, listen, I am about growth. If we're not talking about growth some point of our friendship, 9 times out of 10, you won't be in my inner circle. And
Mm.
the thing about
That's
that part
true.
is just like when you operate from a different playing field when you know you're loved, right? When you know
Yeah.
that when you build that confidence, you move differently. And I'm at a place where I just want to move differently, where like even to like so last week I had 2 interviews, well, really 3. So I got 3 offers, and it just felt good to be wanted that way. But one of my mentors said to
Yeah.
me, she said, "But Josh, I'm not trying to be funny. You one bad dude." She said, "Since I've known you since you was a kid, and you've
Yeah.
always been about excellence, right? So when
Mm-hmm.
you are in that type of mindset, you move differently because it's just like you were meant for greatness, right? So as you start to really elevate and go beyond your limitations and start establishing your worth, you start moving differently. You stop being around some
Yeah.
certain people. You stop because honestly, the reason why like Natalie and I have committed to do this in this lane of doing this podcast and doing this weekly live is because we've realized that, hey, you going where I'm going where you going. I know if I'm around you, you're gonna elevate me and vice versa. So we've chosen to do this consistently because we are on one accord when it comes to our purpose and vision. So everything that Natalie celebrates, I'm going to celebrate. Everything that I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to celebrate, she's going to celebrate because we were committed to really going beyond our limitations. And when you're going around that limitation, you need people who will push you into your destiny and be okay with that push,
Mm-hmm.
because
Come
sometimes that
on.
friendship push,
Come on.
I listen. I like when my friends push me. I mean, I always like it, in the introspect when I think about it, I'm like, this person just wants the best for me. So let me jump when they push, because it don't gotta be a push. Sometimes it gotta be, where they're accelerating while I'm running. They're pushing me while I'm running, which is gonna
Yes.
allow
Yes.
it's gonna allow my jump to be higher than it would. You
Mm-hmm.
got to think some of your friends are like a boomerang. They're stretching you, so when you go forward, you'll go with such an acceleration.
Come
It's nothing
on.
like having that, that circle of people who push you beyond your limitations. But when you're really trying to grow, you have to get to a place where your circle supports you and everything about you is really stretching your limitations to really get everything that's meant for you to have. I don't want to die and know that I didn't stretch myself past my limitation. I want to be able to stretch myself. And then one time some years ago, I got a chance to meet the first black guy to graduate from Johnson and then not Johnson Wells, CIA. This guy had to be like 98 when we met him, maybe like 94. I think he's passed on since then. But when I was sitting down talking to him, interviewing him, he's had over 5 careers in his lifetime and successful at each one. He helped build the Pentagon. He was a licensed cosmetologist, opened up a restaurant. He was he has such a long resume. And I said, wow, like this guy is really going to leave this earth empty. So it
Yeah.
was such an aspiration seeing that at the age of, I think we were probably like maybe like 20 or 19, seeing that. I'm like, man, like I can't wait to be able to be that age and
Yeah.
to be able to say this was my resume. Like I was so baffled by this guy because I'm like, yo, I didn't always see that growing up. People going
Yeah.
past their limitation. That wasn't a common thing. Now it is common because I changed my circle. But it's just so amazing to see that this guy, when he was at the age 98, he has such a long resume. His wife was the
Wow,
first
that's so
Black
good.
nurse in Cheshire, Connecticut. Like, seeing, I'm like, yo, these are really people
Yeah.
who have done, have lived a life well lived. So when you think about your journey, while working towards the future, but living in your current, have gratitude, as you're saying, I'm glad I'm here and I'm thankful. But as I go forward, I will stretch myself. I will go past every limitation because I want to be able to die empty and to be able to say, live a life well lived. Like, what do you want your obituary to say?
Oh, so good. Oh my gosh. So I was listening so intently. You saw me taking notes because I'm like, he got a whole framework, and I'm the framework queen. I'll be pulling out stuff or the clarity queen. I'm like, I heard it loud and clear. And you gave us 3 steps to move beyond our limitations. If you got your pen and paper, or if you
I'm gonna have to write
taking
this
notes on
down.
your
You never
phone,
I take my notes.
I know. It's just the teacher in me. The first thing you said was change your desires. You said, I want to move differently. That's the
Okay.
first step to moving beyond your
What else I
limitations, is
say?
changing your desires. Wait, hold on, because you said, I want to move differently. That's something in me that's saying, I no longer want to be mediocre. I don't want to be average, but I want to move in a level of excellence, that when the thing that I am so good at is associated with my name. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they think of me and only me. I'm the only viable solution to whatever the problem is when it's associated. So when it comes to clarity, I want to be the only person you think of when it comes
Yeah,
to clarity, to the point where if you can't afford my service, you're like, I'm gonna have to hold up and wait. I'm gonna have to save my money, because if I go to anybody else, I'm gonna get less than what I deserve, because this
that's
girl is
great.
the clarity queen. All right. And then number 2, you said change your conversation. You cannot continue to talk about what was. You cannot continue to
Mm-hmm.
degrade yourself. You can't continue to see yourself as somebody who is less than, if you want to move beyond your limitations. So now your conversation has to change. Your words have to change. What you speak about yourself has to change. Your declaration has to change. Your affirmations have to change. Your proclamations have to change. Every word that comes out of your mouth has to change. The things that you used to put death to, now you have to put life to it. The things that you put life to, now you have to put death to. You're no
That's
longer
good.
inconsistent. You're no longer the person that doesn't show up. You're no longer the person that be half doing stuff. You're somebody that comes through all the time. And it doesn't matter if you see it yet. You got to speak it until you see it. So the first, change your desires. Number 2, change your conversation. And number 3,
That was
change
number
your
3.
circle. Change
That's
your
good.
circle. People that used to be around you can no longer have access to you, because what they do by their mouth is pull you down. That's why they got the crab in the barrel syndrome. They always talking about it. And it's not by their hands they're pulling you down. It's by their words. They're putting their mouth on you,
Mm-hmm.
unauthorized words on you, and it keeps
That's
you
good.
in that stagnant place. So you got to move up out of your circle. People that had access to you in the last season can't have access to you in this season if you want to move beyond your limitation. Because what you are doing, if you stay in the circle, is now you're trying to move beyond their limitation and your limitation and
That's good.
everybody else's limitation. And that's too many limitations. Get rid of them people. So now you can see yourself the way that you're supposed to see yourself, and get people that will push you as they're moving forward. Get people that will challenge you to be like, yo, that could have been done better than that. But they're not even going to say it like that. They're going to be like, hey, is there another way you could do this?
Mm-hmm.
Is there
That's good.
another way we could bring this thing out? Because I know
That's good.
there's so much more on the inside of you. Dude, this was lit, but I know you can go further. This was awesome, but I know you got more on the inside of you. What else we gonna do next? What's happening next? Like Chef Jay don't even have to ask. He'd be like, yo, this is what's next. This. Then I'm like, dang it. All right, I gotta put out this thing because he said he putting out this thing. I gotta do this because he said, like, it is no competition. It's just everybody's elevating. And one thing you always say is, when I go to the top, my friends are going with me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a choice. Sonia put it in the chat. That's a choice. They have to choose to go with you. You can't drag nobody on the field. They got to choose it. And if they don't see themselves as worthy to be in your presence, because let's keep it 100, we are royalty. I think somebody else put that in there. We are royalty, and royalty don't hang out with commoners. So if I'm having a conversation with you, I must see that there's royalty on the inside of you. But if you continue to see yourself as a commoner, you're going to put yourself out of my circle. I'm not even putting you out. You saying, let me exit out of this place because I don't have what it takes to stay in their presence. Get yourself together, y'all, if you want to move beyond your limitations. Because Chef J out here dropping gems. And that's it. I'm done.
That was good. That was good. As you was talking, on Hulu, they have a special on Mike Tyson, even though he has nothing to do
I
with
gotta
the
watch
show.
that.
See, so yeah, like he's not getting paid from the show. So I said, I just want to check it out. I think it's super good. Like it's super good
Mm-hmm.
because um they show his upbringing and how chaotic his family was. Like his mom
Yeah.
was such, it was just like mental abuse because that's what she experienced, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it came to a point where, because he was adopted by a white family, and that the white guy really pushed him to go beyond his limitation. And he was so excited to bring home the fact that he won the Junior Olympics. And his mom was, well, you still just a thief. Well, you
Wow.
still this. And he was like, no, I changed. And then it was so, because he used to really live a wild lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
um, and he was like, but I changed. He said, but it got to a point where the white family wanted to adopt him, and he moved away. So he would keep coming back and forth to visit his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And his mom was a limitation,
Yes.
because every time he would go back to the positive, like he would go from the positive life to being beat down, and he just wanted to really show his success. And in the long run, he
Yes.
never got a really chance to show his success to her in the longevity part. But the part that was so pivotal, that he made it so far, that, and this was kind of a very interesting part of the show, because he went back, he dug her grave up, reburied her in a really nice casket, and then he buried her in a nice
Wow.
place. But what he said was, he said, now you're going to be where I put you. Like I put you here. Like, and it was such a thing where he wanted to elevate her so much by his success, but he was so torn down because of the conversation that she would have about
Mm-hmm.
him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, how oftentimes are we beat down by our circle,
Yeah.
where we have all the tools to go beyond our limitation, but we stay around people who are crabs in the barrel, who,
Yeah.
I hate to say hating on us, but they love where they are. And because you
That's
going
yeah.
outside, they gonna like, nah, fam, you ain't nothing either. You're not
Yeah.
and it's just so sad, because it's just like, when I work in these urban schools and I see the limitation, and then I meet the parent, and I'm like, yo, I have literally 8 hours today, really only maybe like an hour out that day, but they're
Mm-hmm.
going back to a parent for 10 hours.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
for a family that's beating them down. But you
Yes.
literally have to make the choice to say, listen, I don't want this for my life.
Mm-hmm.
I have to physically remove myself from this situation,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yes.
this is causing me to live in lack. This is causing me to really stay in an uncomfortable place. We are so comfortable in uncomfortable places because we're afraid of what may happen. And sometimes they're afraid of success,
Yeah.
because they know once they get successful, like, Mary J. Blige said a good thing. She said, once I became successful, I was still living in the hood. So I was coming back
Mm-hmm.
around, and she said, I got so much hate from people who I thought would love on me.
Yeah.
And it's just so sad, because it's just like, I don't even pay attention to people who ain't supported or who ain't saying the right conversation. And you have to really put on that armor, because
Yeah, you
sometimes,
do.
it's like they're cutting you, but you have to put the right armor on, because sometimes when you come from families that really don't want you to succeed, or they've never done that, or you come from friendships that never succeed, you have to be so okay with being alone for a period until you develop that circle. Because what happens
Yeah.
is, you don't want to ever be in a space where you are limited by the people you allow to give access to you.
Come on.
We give people
Jeez.
access to us that don't deserve, um, they don't deserve to be a part of that circle.
Ugh.
And it's just like they be the main ones that be saying, "Oh, I knew them when." And yeah,
Yeah.
because that's the only part you're gonna know me when, because you're not gonna know me now. Because it's just that when it comes to where I need to go, I have to be so serious about my circle and who feeds into my life. Because the
Mm-hmm.
thing about whoever's feeding into your life controls your diet, and they also control,
Come
you know,
on.
how your body functions. So, for example, if some people are tampering your water with negative thoughts, negative
Come
ideas,
on, come
you
on,
know,
come
so it's just
on.
like when you want to have quality of life and quality of living, who you allow in your life will really cause you to catapult or to lead a life of destruction. And if your circle is not promoting you, why are you friends with them? If your circle isn't
Mm,
elevating you, why are you surrounding them? Because remember, limitations can be anything that you allow to be into your life. You have to daily say, God, you know what? Whoever's not meant to be, and I preached when I was 19, whoever's not meant to be in my life, allow them to leave. And if it seems like I cannot get rid of them, allow them to reject me and let me be okay with it. Because what
oh,
happens is, too, is there are certain people who are attached to our life to cause us to fail, right? And because we
mhm.
have loyalties, I hate the word loyalties
Come on,
because what
come
people say
on.
is loyal now is like, that's not
No, yeah.
loyal, that's abuse.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
you're loyal to, whatever you choose to be loyal to, will either affect you for a good thing or a bad thing. So watch who you're sowing your time into, because if they're going to cause you to stay in lack because you allow them to, that's your fault. And so
Mm,
from this day, from whatever day it is forward, I'm going to choose to be intentional about who's in my circle, who feeds into my life, and I'm not going to allow just anybody to say what they want to say in my spirit, because I give you the right to do that. So just be so mindful of that. You know, we about to wrap up because I got to head out somewhere, but I just want to say, guys, talking about the Bossuup boot camp is going to be literally in a month and a half. We're so
yes.
excited about it, and Bossuup boot camp is going to be in Jersey. It's gonna be super
Woo-hoo.
dope. Yeah, it's gonna be lit. I don't know if you guys saw the promo video, but we did show that part. But click the link in the bio to really grab your tickets. It's a super cheap enrollment fee to get your access to the whole weekend. If you're looking to grow and pivot, let's take it to the next level. Anything else, Natalie?
Nah, this is good. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. We
I'm
definitely
definitely
needed this
rewatching this
today.
replay.
Yeah.
I'm rewatching this
Yeah,
myself.
yeah,
So
yeah.
listen.
And
All
I
right,
think we
guys.
harp
Have
on oh,
okay.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, you good. You good.
I was gonna say I think we harp on the circle a lot because your circle invites the conversations and those spirits into your lives. So it's the
Mm,
access point. That's why you want to limit that. That's the first line of defense. That's why people talk about that circle so
mm,
much. If you
mm.
limit that down, you'll start seeing certain things either flourish. They will begin to flourish in your life. So that's
Dope.
it.
All right, fam. Have a super dope week on purpose. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Same time, same place. It's time to pivot. It's time to move. It's time to go and stretch beyond your limitation. If you're looking for coaching, reach out to Natalie and myself. We are here to help you guys reach your maximal potential. All right. Have a great week on purpose.